We all have that song we just can't get out of our heads, no matter how hard we try. It's called an earworm, and it's just one example of the extraordinary power of music. The thing that's so interesting about music is just how much of the brain it activates. Beyond the auditory cortex, the part of the brain that processes sound, music lights up part of your brain that is involved with movement, attention, planning, and memory. Speaking the words, for example, comes from over here, the left temporal lobe. Putting them into a tune comes from over here, the right parietal lobe. And then putting it all into a rhythm from here, the cerebellum. There are so many neural networks involved in music processing, it elicits what is known as the amplifier effect. It's no longer just music, it's an emotional response. And that's what makes it stick. Studies have shown that kids who take music lessons didn't just get better at playing an instrument, their brains process language better.
When I was a kid, and I think most people who are old like me, some of you kids won't remember this, but you always had an art teacher and a music teacher. You could be in the poorest school district in the world. To music, everybody had access to art. And the reason is because people understood, even though they hadn't done the scientific research back then, we have done now, that children who learn music actually do better in math. Kids whose imaginations are sparked by the arts are more engaged in school. So these things aren't just extras, they are part of a well-rounded education.
So if you have an art and music program, you develop both left and right sides of the brain. You're not only giving data input, and every study shows, you want to improve kids' math scores, put them in music. You want to improve his capacity to think spatially, put him in an art class, which will help his geometry. You want to improve a child's capacity to learn foreign language, give him a music education, because he learns tonal qualities that are often vital in learning the tonal qualities of a foreign language. I could go on, but there are direct academic correlations between music and art instruction and what we often call the essential academics.
I tell my students we have a unique opportunity. We are making something beautiful for an hour every day. A lot of people in the world can't say that they do that, and it's a big privilege for us, and we make the most of it.
So the number one reason to teach music in schools is there are a lot of students for whom that's the pathway to opening them up to the idea of learning in the first place. So when you practice an instrument every day, it gives you discipline. When you play in an ensemble, you learn to work with other people. When you learn to read music, you're learning a new language, and every language you learn makes the next one you learn easier. You get tapped into these deep traditions like the jazz tradition or the European classical music tradition that make you interested in the history. Like, where did the blues come from? Suddenly, American history is interesting to me.
If you're going to take a music class, you're going to work with the other classmates in a way that you don't do that in other classes. Most other classes you have to keep to your own desk, your own book, your own thoughts. But in music, you're really practicing harmony. You're practicing working together, listening to what the other student is doing and how you can add to that and work together to create something profound.